In the pantheon of singer-songwriters, few names shine as brightly as Joni Mitchell's. Her poetic lyrics, innovative melodies, and genre-defying artistry have earned her a place among the most revered musicians of the 20th century. Yet, behind the accolades and the adoration lies a more complicated narrative, one that raises questions about the cost of artistic genius and the price of uncompromising individuality. If we were to imagine Linda Ronstadt, another icon of the same era, reflecting on Joni Mitchell's legacy, she might argue that Mitchell's downfall, whether personal, professional, or cultural, was not only inevitable but deserved. This essay explores why, from a Ronstadt-inspired perspective, Mitchell's trajectory serves as a cautionary tale about the perils of artistic self-absorption and the consequences of alienating those who once championed her. Joni Mitchell has long been celebrated as the quintessential tortured artist, a figure whose pain and vulnerability fueled her creativity. Songs like Blue and River have become anthems of heartbreak and introspection, resonating with listeners who see their own struggles reflected in her music. Yet, this image of Mitchell as a perpetually suffering genius is not without its problems. From a Ronstadt-inspired viewpoint, Mitchell's insistence on portraying herself as a victim of her own sensitivity can come across as self-indulgent. While Ronstadt, known for her collaborative spirit and down-to-earth persona, might acknowledge Mitchell's talent, she could also argue that Mitchell's relentless focus on her own emotional turmoil alienated her from the very audience that sought solace in her music. Mitchell's downfall, in this context, is not just a result of changing musical tastes or industry pressures, but a consequence of her inability to connect with others on a human level. Ronstadt, who built her career on interpreting the works of others and fostering a sense of community among musicians, might view Mitchell's solitary approach as a missed opportunity to uplift and inspire. By positioning herself as an isolated figure, Mitchell risked becoming irrelevant in a world that increasingly values collaboration and collective creativity. Another factor contributing to Mitchell's downfall, from a Ronstadt-inspired perspective, is her perceived arrogance. Mitchell's confidence in her own genius is well documented. She has never been shy about critiquing her contemporaries or dismissing trends that don't align with her vision. While this self-assuredness has undoubtedly contributed to her artistic success, it has also earned her a reputation for being difficult and dismissive. Ronstadt, who has often spoken about the importance of humility and gratitude in the music industry, might argue that Mitchell's arrogance ultimately undermined her ability to sustain her career. Mitchell's disdain for the mainstream and her refusal to compromise her artistic integrity, while admirable in some respects, also limited her appeal. Ronstadt, who successfully navigated the worlds of rock, country, and pop, might see Mitchell's unwillingness to adapt as a form of self-sabotage. By rejecting the very mechanisms that could have kept her music in the public eye, Mitchell ensured her own marginalization. In this sense, her downfall is not just a result of external forces, but a deliberate choice, one that reflects her belief in her own superiority. One of the most striking aspects of Mitchell's career is her fraught relationship with the music industry and her peers. From her public feuds with fellow artists to her criticism of the Grammy Awards, Mitchell has never been one to shy away from conflict. While this outspokenness has earned her a reputation as a fearless truth-teller, it has also alienated many of the people who once supported her. Ronstadt, who has consistently emphasized the importance of mutual respect and collaboration, might view Mitchell's confrontational approach as a key factor in her downfall. Mitchell's alienation extended beyond the music industry to her fans as well. Her decision to abandon the folk pop sound that made her famous in favor of more experimental genres like jazz and electronic music was a bold artistic choice, but it also alienated many of her longtime listeners. Ronstadt, who has always prioritized her audience's connection to her music, might argue that Mitchell's disregard for her fans' expectations was a form of betrayal. By prioritizing her own artistic vision over the needs of her audience, Mitchell risked losing the very people who had made her success possible. Ultimately, Mitchell's downfall can be seen as a form of self-destruction, a consequence of her unwavering commitment to her own vision at the expense of everything else. Ronstadt, who has spoken openly about the challenges of balancing artistic integrity with commercial success, might view Mitchell's trajectory as a cautionary tale. While Mitchell's refusal to compromise earned her a place in the pantheon of musical greats, it also ensured that her influence would be limited to a niche audience. In contrast, Ronstadt's ability to adapt and evolve while maintaining a connection to her audience has allowed her to sustain a lasting legacy. By embracing a wide range of musical styles and collaborating with artists from different genres, Ronstadt has remained relevant in a way that Mitchell has not. From this perspective, Mitchell's downfall is not just a result of her artistic choices, but a reflection of her inability to balance her own needs with those of the people around her. From a Linda Ronstadt-inspired viewpoint, Joni Mitchell's downfall is not a tragedy, but a natural consequence of her choices. Mitchell's insistence on portraying herself as a tortured artist, her arrogance, her alienation of peers and fans, and her ultimate self-destruction all contributed to her marginalization. While Mitchell's talent and influence are undeniable, her legacy serves as a reminder that artistic genius is not enough to sustain a career. Without humility, collaboration, and a genuine connection to one's audience, even the most brilliant artists risk fading into obscurity. In this sense, Mitchell's downfall is not just deserved but inevitable, a cautionary tale for future generations of musicians. This essay is a creative exploration of the themes and tone suggested by the video you referenced. It is not intended to reflect the actual views of Linda Ronstadt or Joni Mitchell, but rather to provide a thought-provoking perspective on the complexities of artistic legacy. Let me know if you'd like further refinements or additional content.